Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Thursday, July 7th slate of MLB action. I'm super excited to dive into it. We do have actually a really good slate of MLB today, so I am excited to dive into it. I have two plays that I really like, one that I really like. It's going to be a 2-unit play for me, so I do hope it ends up working out for us. But before we do dive into it, I did just want to go ahead and say that we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. I hope that everybody had an absolutely fantastic day yesterday. I know that I did. Yesterday was actually my day off of work, so the video was out a little bit later, so I do apologize about that, but I did sleep in a little bit, so that one is completely on me. I ended up sitting out at the pool for a while, got sunburnt. My shoulders are very sunburnt, but you know, it is what it is. It was a great day overall, so I hope that everybody else had a good day too. Hopefully you guys won some money with your bets. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and do a quick recap as of yesterday. So, as of yesterday, we did end up going 1-1 on the day. So, we did have the Phillies minus 1.5 versus the Nationals. They actually ended up losing outright. Very tough loss. So, but that, you know, it is what it is. And then we did have the Braves and the Cardinals under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings, and that one did end up working out for us. Neither of these two teams really like scored at all, over the course of the entire game. So I'm really glad that one ended up working out for us. It could have been a rough day if we would have lost both of our bets. But if you guys do want to know what else I'm tailing on the sides as well, because I do put in a lot of bets over the course of the day, make sure to follow me on Action. Action is basically like a social media when it comes to sports betting, so you guys can follow me on there. You guys can see literally every single thing that I bet every day, and it does keep track of it, and you guys can tail it, you guys can fade it, whatever the case might be. But if you guys are interested, make sure you guys do hit that follow button on that Action. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's plays. Our first play of the day, we're taking the Yankees. We're taking the run line here versus Boston at minus 105 odds. Now, when it comes to the Yankees, to the run line on the road this year, they are 21-18. So, definitely not their most favorable spot when it comes to the run line just in general. But I still think that it's a pretty good spot to target, especially against this Boston Red Sox team. Boston, they are 18-21 to the run line at home this year. So they aren't even 500 when it comes to that run line on the road. And obviously, you know, when it comes to the home situations, a lot of times they don't get that bottom of the 9th inning. I get that, but at the same time, they still have not been able to cover very often at all. Now, New York, they are actually first when it comes to runs per game, so they are the best offense in the entire MLB. Boston, not too terribly far behind them. They are 7th, so both these teams are top 10 teams, but the Yankees, they do obviously have that upper advantage because they are the best offense in the entire MLB. Now, New York is also first in runs allowed, so they have the best offense and defense in the entire MLB, so they're always just a good team to target just in general. Boston, they have the 11th best defense. So both these two teams are very solid. There's absolutely no way about that. Both these teams are very solid. New York, best offense and defense in the MLB. Or New York, excuse me. New York is the best offense and defense in the MLB. Wow. And Boston, they are just outside the top 10 in defense, but they are inside the top 10 when it comes to offense. So both these teams, very solid teams, but I am going to be taking the Yankees on this one. The Yankees are also going to have Garrett Cole on the mound. Garrett Cole is obviously one of their aces. He has a 7-2 record with a 2.99 ERA. So he's been very solid just over the course of this entire season. He's been really good, and so hopefully he can end up, covering this year for us. Also, since June 1st, he has covered, in every game that he has started, he has covered this run line in every single game besides one. So he has been absolutely fantastic, especially here as of late. So hopefully he can continue that on for us. Winkowski is going to be on the mound here for Boston as well. He does have a 3.12 ERA, so he has been pretty good. But he actually has a 3.68 at home. So he is actually a little bit worse at home. So We are getting Winkowski in a spot where he's not necessarily as favorable. We're getting Garrett Cole, who's just been an absolute monster all year. And also, if it does end up coming down to the bullpen, we see a huge advantage here for New York as well. New York is second when it comes to bullpen ERA, just in general. And Boston, they are 13th. So, another huge advantage here for the Yankees. So, hopefully, Garrett Cole can keep it close up until those extra innings. And then New York can just absolutely go crazy after that when it comes to the bullpen. So, that is our first play of the day. Yankees -1.5 versus Boston at -105 odds. Now for our second play of the day, we're taking the Rockies and the Diamondbacks over 5 runs in the first 5 innings at -125 odds. Now, if you want to take the full game, you can. It just seemed a little bit trappy because obviously the first 5 is set to over under 5, which is actually, you know, pretty high. Just in general, it's pretty high. But if you take a look at the full game, I think it's set to like 9. So why is there a run drop off when it comes to those last 4 innings? It's just I don't know. I was probably just looking too much into it, but I like the first 5 here. This is going to be my 2-unit play. I like this play a lot, and here's why. So when it comes to offenses, both these teams are not necessarily the best when it comes to scoring runs in general. Colorado is 13th in runs scored. Arizona's 20th. So it's definitely not super enticing when it comes to that. But if you take a look at the runs allowed, Colorado allows the 3rd most runs per game, and Arizona allows the 8th most runs per game. Both these teams are top 10 in runs allowed, just in general. So they give up a lot of runs. So with Colorado being in the top half of that MLB, when it comes to runs scored, hopefully they can really get things going. Also, Colorado is 42, 35, and 3 to the over in the first 5, and Arizona is 39, 37, and 4. So both these teams are more profitable than not when it comes to the over in the first 5. So hopefully that does end up staying true to us. Also, Colorado is 19, 15, and 2 to the over in the first 5 on the road, and Arizona is 21, 19, and 2 to the over in the first 5 at home. So, with all that being said, we are getting both these teams in their more favorable spots. So Colorado is really good to the over on the road, and Arizona is really good to the over at home. So both these two are in very favorable positions, but this is where I think we see an absolute huge advantage. We'll go ahead and take a look at the pitching matchup. Dallas Keuchel is going to be on the mound here for Arizona. He has had an 8.27 ERA over the course of the entire season. He's had a 9.74 ERA in his last 5 games, a 10.8 ERA through 5 innings pitched versus the Rockies. So he has just been he has not been very good just over the course of the year. He's had an 8.27 ERA over the season, 9.74 in the last 5, so he's been trending in the wrong direction, and a 10.8 through 5 innings pitched versus the Rockies. So if he ends up pitching the first 5 and he has a 10.8, I think we have no problem hitting this bet. Just absolutely, like none at all. But, Keuchel has not been very good. He also has a 2.10 whip. So he's been really bad. So hopefully he can keep that going and doesn't end up looking like, an absolute ace pitcher here today. But that's probably the way it's going to go just because it's my luck. But as of right now, I think that this is a great stat to target. Also, on the flip side of the mound, they don't have a great pitcher on there either. Austin Gomer for Colorado with a 6.53 ERA, a 6.42 on the road. So he's a touch better on the road, but definitely not anything that scares me. And a 6.53 versus Arizona through 5.2 innings pitched, and he has a 1.45 whip on the year. So both these pitchers, they allow a ton of runs, they allow a ton of hits, a ton of walks, literally everything that you don't want in the pitcher, they allow a ton of. So hopefully this ends up working out for us. That is our second and final play of the day. Rockies and Diamondbacks over 5 runs in the first 5 innings at -125 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Sanders signing out. Peace.